Well, Leeds United fans, that looks to be that. I wanted to just come on after the result this evening. Some of you might not caught the watch along. Um, and yeah, we did a little bit of a watch along for the Coventry City Ipswich Town game. And I think we're pretty much I think that's it. I do. I think that's it for Leeds United. Personally, I think that's almost us signed, sealed, and delivered to the playoffs. And it's been a bit of an acceptance for myself. I think there's a lot of Leeds fans who sort of accepted what's been happening. Really, Coventry got back into the game. We had a bit of a laugh on the watch along. It's gonna Hadji Wright's gonna do it again. USA, USA, and all that sort of stuff. But Coventry looked off the pace. The impetus from the start. Even I know it sounds daft to everybody, but just the crowd, they had the highest crowd of the season against us. They were right up for it. The pass completion was a lot better. They looked a little bit crisper. They were hitting Hadji right. They were hitting Ellis Sims a lot better. They were really dueling. They were really putting the onus on Ethan Ampadu to win physical battles against big lads. They were winning a lot of the second balls in this game against Ipswich. We've got to give credit to Ipswich Town, but you look at the Coventry side we faced, which have just been almost a real add-on to our problems post-international break. And you look at the Coventry City they faced tonight, there wasn't really a barrage of chances. There wasn't really effectiveness in all embers of Coventry's play. It was a very below-average Coventry City side. And listen, that's their, sixth loss in 7, and maybe we should have expected that. But when Hadji Wright struck that equaliser in, you were thinking, maybe. But then, the Ipswich goal went in, and fair play to them, and we're going to get into a bit of Ipswich praise, obviously, but that goal looked offside as well. Was it a free kick on Leif Davis? I don't know, questionable. But Ipswich weren't impressive. But listen, Ipswich haven't been impressive for a period of time now, and I think their fans will say the same thing. But I think the whole game they were a lot better, and I think tonight they were a little bit better than Coventry, which is all that was needed, to be fair to them. Overall, I want to give credit. I want to give massive credit to Leicester. I want to give massive credit to Ipswich Town. I've had a bit of banter about, over them and about them, and we have as Leeds fans. I think Leicester have gone a little bit too far with their celebrations afterwards. I said that on the stream this morning, but it is what it is. But I would like to say to Ipswich Town, it's not signed, sealed, and delivered yet. Leeds are still in the picture. Huddersfield could provide a miracle, and then we could beat Southampton. But I think you saw the post-match celebration there for Ipswich Town. I think they know McKenna with pretty much his first smile of the season. They're all jubilant on the sidelines. I think that's it. I think that's it done. And I think resignation to the playoffs is something that I am now completely at ease with. There's 100% of me, which is completely at ease with right now. Not at ease with in terms of, look, I think we're going to get through it, and I think we're going to win it. At ease with just the fact and the jewel that we had automatic promotion. And it's a real shame. It almost feels like the final twist in the heart, because it was there, wasn't it? It was there for us for so many weeks. This club, it'll do it to us till the end of time, won't it? Till the end of time. Leeds United, and if you're an opposition fan, and a lot of clubs feel this way about their club, but Leeds, we have our own song about it. Leeds are falling apart again. Leeds are bottling it, all this sort of stuff. Following this club is just tumultuous. It is pain-ridden. The highs are the highs, but the lows are the lows. Ups and downs. We're all there. We're all in it together. But, the checkered flag just being lifted, being dragged down, I should say, immediately after the international break, when Leeds had fired into the break, 14 games unbeaten, 9 wins on the bounce at one stage, unbelievable run of form. We've clawed back that point difference on Leicester and Ipswich. And to say what's happened after the international break, look, I know a lot of you guys see me as a pessimist, as a bit negative. There's not, even I would never have seen that, the capitulation we've had. But we have to say, Ipswich have got it over the line. They've stumbled over the line, but I do think they've got it there now. And yeah, I'm going to give a bit of plaudits to them, plaudits to Leicester as well. And now it is a big task for Leeds. Can the second worst form team in the division get up for it? I hope so. It's a massive task for the manager. Hold on a sec. I'm just going to have a bit of water. And yeah, overall, it's a big task for Leeds United. James in the building. The playoffs is failure if you take into account our position before international break, it is all on Farker, and he must go. Farker out. James, yeah, really sort of big comments there, mate. And I can understand the heartache. I can understand the sort of bad feeling towards it, really, because where we were is, but I guess you've got to say with Farker, he got us there. He's galvanized a lot of the squad. From January, we were completely out of it. The end of December, we were completely done. Strout was injured, and you were thinking, what is going on here? We're going to Peterborough, and everybody was like, we're going to get beat by Peterborough here. It's just going to continue. We've just been done by Preston and West Brom. We're facing Peterborough, and you're thinking, oh my God, they're going to do us third in League One, and they're going to beat us. It's a classic Leeds game. And we came through, won 3-0, and went on an unbelievable run, an assault of the Championship. And you couldn't believe the decimation job we did, and all these teams beat Leicester twice, beat Ipswich twice comfortably. And you're just thinking, oh my God, here we go. We're going to do it. The mentality is not what it has been over the years, where the badge, that massive Leeds United badge that is heavier than any club at this level, is going to get it's not going to get the better of them. It's not going to get the better of them. We've seen so many squads falter before, but this badge is not going to, this mentality team is different. It's different. And you just feel now that, going into the playoffs, this gaffer has got to get some serious tunes out of these players, because I've said a lot with Daniel Farker that I think a lot of it is going to rely going forward on how we end the season. We've got to end the season well. If we don't go up, then we don't go up. It is what it is, and it's going to be horrifically painful, and we're going to see many of our best players leave. And it is what it is. We're going to have to rebuild. But if we end the season poorly, really, really poorly, and we've started it by QPR, if we then lose to Southampton heavily, we then go into the playoffs and start losing heavily, I do think the 49ers will look at Daniel Farker's position. I might be wrong, but I do think they will look at it. But for argument's sake, I would keep Daniel Farker, and I've said this before, unless there is a very, very, very good manager at this level who could potentially take the reins at Leeds United, and you would think caliber-wise he's above Daniel Farker. I've mentioned Corberán before, but I'm not 100% sure on Corberán. It's a little bit of a name that I'm just putting out there. I'm sort of thinking a tier ahead of Farker, which I'm not 100% sure Corberán is, but I think we have got to look as a fan base at the squad that he's been given. I know it was difficult at the start of the season, but this squad should always bring you back up in terms of points. With the level that he's had, there's an argument that Somerville will be playing Champions League football at some point. Rutter will be playing European football at some point. What level is Archie Gray going to get to? Willignon? So the sky's the limit for him as well. We have a lot of good players at this division. A lot of good players. So yeah, the objective is to get promoted. I can tell you that for a fact. The objective is to get promoted. So it's very much on how we go at the end of the season. And I think the big thing as well, everybody, is even earlier on this week, they've turned around to Daniel Farker and said, if you go up, you keep all your assets. We're rejecting every single bid. So that's the ambition of the 49ers. The 49ers won't accept any bid for any of our players, regardless of the fee, really. Now, that might be a naive thing for me to say, but if they're saying it, maybe it's just the first season. But they've said, look, you will not lose any of your players. Now, the other side of the coin is that apparently they've already started talking about targets with Daniel Farker next year, which would lead you to the opinion that Daniel Farker will be around next season. But I know it's a 4-year deal, but I will say I do think that this is very, 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 very dependent on how Leeds end the season. If we just completely blow up, I think the 49ers will have to have a look maybe at that. But let's have a little bit of normality here. Lars says, can't just sack for the sake of sacking. Yeah, don't disagree with you there. Looking back, just one win was needed. It's Leicester's fault that you bottled it. I don't really know what that means. Can't just sack for the sake of sacking. Yeah, anyone but Farker. Kiefer Moore we should have gone for more than Perot. He has such an impact on Ipswich. Fair play. Tractors, cheers, no problem. Yeah, let's have a couple. We need Danny Pugh, Zoe bringing in all of the nostalgia right now. But yeah, I think, listen, Cobbler's Connor, no promotion means financial consequences. I agree, mate. I agree. Pissed off at how much of a laughing stock we've become again. Should be beating Blackburn. F football. Hey, yeah, I agree with you, Jack. I think it's It's a shame, man. It's a shame how it's gone. But and I feel with this channel as well, we're very much in the middle, like, because I will still come on and say, you know, unless it's completely doomsday and we've got absolutely no chance whatsoever, I'll still come on and say we've got a chance. You know what I mean? And the beautiful thing about the playoffs is you will always have those chances. You would always have those chances. And the question is now, how do they prepare for Saturday? Because they've then got a week for the 12th and the 13th, I believe, the start of the playoff dates are. It's a Sunday and a Monday. Then it's the 16th and the 17th. And then it's, how do you prepare them? How do you prepare the lads? Do you go into the problem is we're playing Southampton. So do you kind of want to go in and play your best side, or do you want to rest a few, maybe rotate, but Cresswell in there? Maybe, I don't know, give Gelhardt a go for 30 minutes to see what impact he can have in the number 10, rest a few of your players, and then go ahead and go for the playoffs. But Southampton did rest a few for their last game against Stoke, which would give you the sort of indication that, they are looking at this Leeds game and they're looking at this as like the Leeds, then the two playoffs, then the finals. They've rested players for the Stoke game. We don't have that luxury because we were still within this sort of automatic picture. I do think that's gone now. So we couldn't really focus on the playoffs. But as of tonight, I do think, and listen, as I've said, you saw the Ipswich celebrations at the end. I think that's done. So it's how Leeds go into the Southampton game now. Do they go in with a full strength squad? Do they go in with a little bit of a middling squad so that the squad are rested and easy up for a week later? Now, if we are to finish third, which I think that's pretty much nailed on, you are then looking at Leeds playing a sixth place side, which could include either Hull City, which we do not want at all, West Brom, who've taken 4 points off us this season, and then Norwich, which are a bit of an interesting one because they've taken a massive. It's been a massive turnaround in form. It wasn't easy at Ellen Road. We beat them 1-0. But I do feel a bit of an opening against Norwich. I do quite like that. But obviously, Norwich are fifth in the division. West Brom have got almost us sort of nailed on, you feel, in terms of just killing our play and getting in banks. And Corbran will be fine with them doing that and hitting us on the break. But they've been through a really bad run of form. Lost to Sheffield Wednesday 3-0 at the weekend. You've got to look at Leeds United in this sort of set, and you got to think to yourself that we can do something. We can do something with this caliber squad, but it's up to the manager, it's up to his staff to then go and get this team mentality strong, get them mentally strong for this game and this setup, because Leeds have never been good at the playoffs, but Leeds have never been good in cup competitions, and we did quite well this year. And Leeds have never been good at Millwall, and we did quite well this year. And Leeds have never won 9 games on the bounce since 1931, so they've done that quite well this year. I can't remember the last time in my lifetime anyway. Probably the biggest time we did it was League One, was us going nearly 14 games unbeaten, I should say. That's just never happened in my lifetime. So, listen, there's been a lot of records that have been broken this year. So I'm trying not to look at our Leeds are crap in the playoffs too much. And I know I will look at that, and I know fans will look at that. But at the end of the day, there needs to be some serious changes for this Southampton game. And I'm interested to hear what you guys would do. Appy says, weird shout, but if it's over at any point, could you see Dallas at the bench and get a ceremonial appearance? Would love to see that. To be honest, Appy, I don't think he can. I don't think he can physically. The football Leeds play at the moment, not going to win the playoff. It's that simple. We peaked at the wrong time. David says, how does Farke pick this bunch up for a grueling playoff campaign? It's frightening. It is, mate. It is. It's a real tough period, and this is where he's going to earn his coin. If he can turn this around, it's going to be a massive tick box for him already, and he'll be looking at that. He'll be thinking, look, we're down, we're despondent, and we're dangerously close to sort of petering this season out. So, listen, it's going to be a massive task for Farke, but it'll test his promotion credential. And if he can do it, then absolutely fair play to him, and he'll be seen as a bit of a hero in Leeds for many years to come. But it's a big task for him now. Can these players stop having that badge weigh them down, which it has done post-international break for whatever reason? I don't know why. I don't know if the anxiety's peaked. You hear of performance anxiety in athletes all the time. Maybe that's what's happened. We're all looking at the manager, but these athletes on the pitch have just completely, it feels like, just catastrophized and gone through the floor. And that's all you can look at it, really. And it's a real shame. But we still have the opportunity to turn this round. We still have a massive opportunity to turn this round. And we still have a massive opportunity of going up. The positive is, for me, is You know, is I would be really worried going into this cycle of games if this Leeds United side had no quality and we'd sort of stooped into this. I'll tell you what, here's a comparison. It's a much better scenario right now than when we went into the playoffs under Marcelo Bielsa, in my opinion. You look at the teams in that playoff picture at that moment in time. Derby were in sort of mediocre form. Villa were in red hot form, absolute red hot form going into that cycle of games. And you did look at it, and West Brom were in it then as well, weren't they? They were sort of in half decent form and arguably had a better squad than what they've got now. And then obviously Bielsa's Leeds didn't have the quality that we have now, nowhere near the quality that we have now. So it's a mental game now. It really is a mental game for Farker and his staff to get this Leeds United side back up to par. But when you look at the sides that we're potentially up against, Hull, we don't want Hull. We don't want Hull to get in there. West Brom in there, we've got to give them a bloody nose back, and it'll be a tight game. But I think Leeds can get through that. It's been helped by the fact that West Brom are going through this run of form. I know we are, but if we can peak ourselves back up, that's going to be great. Norwich are the informed side. I think they've got 9 points in the last 6. So they're the informed side. Gabi Sarra is going to be a massive problem with how crap our midfield is at the minute. But, you know, if we've got a period of time out, that is something that Daniel Farker could work on. Obviously, Josh Sargent is back in the midst as well, of which he wasn't when I believe we played him twice. Sargent has been brilliant this season, it has to be said. So it's a different Norwich side, it has to be said. It is a different Norwich side. But over a 2-legged period, you've looked at Leeds playing Norwich, and look, let's be brutally honest. Leeds have done them twice. You know, 4-2 on aggregate, we've beaten them twice. And then Southampton, who I think are probably a little bit more problematic than people think. I think, yeah, they've got a lot of good players, and I think that's naturally going to be a bit of a problem. But they're not in the greatest form either. But them resting their players maybe for the Stoke game, maybe they're readily available now, and they're going to go absolutely hammer and tong for this game. I do worry if Leeds are to lose this game against Southampton, that would be a big problem. I don't think Leeds can lose this game. I think we've got to get a draw. We've got to get a win. Whatever it is, just do not lose this game. And then we go into the playoffs at least on a bit of an even keel, and maybe with an increment of positivity, and even just getting a draw. Because you've got to look at the caliber of opposition we're facing. It is still a team in 4th. Just don't lose to them. Just do not lose against them. Because if you lose against them, Jesus Christ, that's us going into the playoffs potentially with two losses on the bounce, which you do not want. So I think the quality in there isn't the same as what it was in our previous campaign with Marcelo Bielsa in the playoffs. That's a positive. And Leeds' quality is much more. It's just that mental side. Yeah, Jarrell, shout out to you. Shout out to Ipswich. Can't deny that, mate. Can't deny that. Well played. And I think that is going to be that. Yeah, a lot of Ipswich fans in here. Shout out to you guys. Ed Sheeran probably going to release a song about the Tractor Boys. Yeah, he probably is. All I'll say, and I said this on the watch along, you guys, if you think that division is easy, woohoo! And we potentially could be there with you. And I'll be saying the exact same to Leeds fans. But you guys are in this position where you've not been there for a while. And I was in this position as a Leeds fan. And do you know what I said? I said, whatever happens, I was crying. Whatever happens, I'll be so happy that we've just got to the Premier League and we're back there. And I remember crying, and oh God, it was emotional. And it was emotional. You know, Marcelo Bielsa gave me that. And that's why we'll always love him, and you'll always love McKenna for what he's done for you. And we might love Farker if he does it for us as well. But it was a more emotive time for us back then, I think, with all the years in the abyss. And that's what you're feeling now. So we can kind of correlate those emotions with Ipswich fans. What I will say is that your team needs an absolute gutting. A gutting. And that's not being bitter at all. It'll work now. And I think you've stumbled through it, but it'll work now. But in that division up there, you're getting, I mean, you know, Leicester are probably going to get minus 10 points at the start of the season, but you wouldn't be far off. Trust me. And that's not bitter lemons. I think the way he plays is very, very good. How he's set up is very, very good. But the quality is just not there. You can't have Sam Morsey and Luongo in the Premier League. Like Wes Burns, you might be able to adapt. Leif Davis, maybe. But you look at the rest of that team, Burgess, Wolfenden, Clark, Connor Chaplin. I quite like Chaplin, to be fair, but George Hurst, there is a lot. Sarmiento's going to go back, isn't he? Hutchinson's going to go back. There is a lot in that team. Promise you, where that level up, it's not even a level up anymore. It's 7 or 8 or 9 levels up. And the good thing about Ipswich is they've got wealthy owners. Maybe they'll back McKenna and maybe they'll be able to do all right in that respect. But by God, and obviously with no Kiefer Moore probably there as well, it's going to have to be a serious investment project. So that's the only thing I'd say. Callum says, hi, Connor. Have ourselves to blame for this? Yeah, I'd agree with you, man. Are you going to the playoff matches and the final, or will you do watch-alongs for the matches? Do you know what, mate? It's honestly, it's solely dependent. It's solely dependent on what you guys want from me. If you want me to get down to the games, vlog the games. If you want me to do like match reactions at the game, I'll 100% do that for you. But if you'd rather me do the watch-alongs and you're enjoying those watch-alongs, I can do that as well. It'll kill me not being at the games, but listen, this is business as well, innit? If you guys want me to do these, I'll 100% sit on my ass and watch these games with you. Just let me know what you want in the comment section below. I'd really appreciate you just letting me know in that comment section after the video. If you've enjoyed the watch on this evening, a lot of you have done. I hope you've noticed an upturning content quality, graphics, and all that sort of stuff. Everyone have been putting a lot of effort into that. So yeah, as I say, just let me know. Dan says next season, same manager, worst players. Oh dear. Let's play the last game first. Yeah, fair enough, Lars. Fair enough. Paul says Calgary calling Connor. We need to beat Saints and regain confidence. Who do we want? Norwich, not Hull or West Bromwich Albion over 2 legs. Can we win at Wembley once if we get there? Oh man, yeah. Can we win at Wembley? The Leeds United curse. Maybe, mate. Maybe. But we've put a lot of things to bed this season, which has really pleased me. We've put a lot of things to bed. There's been things which I wouldn't have expected a Leeds side to do. They've done, as I've mentioned, the cup run, the win over Millwall. No, it sounds ridiculous, but the hoodoo we had down there for years, the superstition, the 9-game winning run, the 15-match unbeaten run. These are all things that I would have never expected us coming down this season to do because of how difficult the championship is. So we've broken a lot of records this season. Records are there to be broken. And at this moment in time, we are still going into the playoffs, whatever everybody says, with the best team, arguably. It wasn't Southampton, but I think Southampton maybe have a little bit more of a balance when it comes to defence, midfield and attack. But we are at least joint caliber-wise. When you've got Somerville, you've got Nonto, you've got Rutter. Regardless, you've got Perot, you've got Bamford, you've got Joseph, you've got Gelhardt, you've got Kamara, Gruev, Archie Gray, Rodon, Ampadu. Robert's probably back for the playoffs. You've got Dan James probably back for the playoffs as well. Look, guys, there is a lot of quality there. A lot of quality. And look, we look at that Norwich side. We look at Gabby Sarah. We look at Johnny Rowe. We look at Josh Sargent, a good team. You look at West Bromwich Albion, good players throughout that. It's a little bit more of a solid unit, no proper individual quality. You might look at John Swift, players like that. But listen, it's more of a unit with West Bromwich Albion. And I think they work that to their advantage. But then you look at Southampton, you look at Taylor Howard, Bellis at the back, Bednarek, Kyle Walker-Peters, Stuart Armstrong, Adam Armstrong, Shea Adams, Sekumara, Brooks. They've got a good team. It's a good team, but Leeds have got a really good. Leeds will have never been in a playoff structure aside from 05-06 with as good a team. So that's the positive you've got to take away with it. Callum says a watch along with Father McGilligan in the build. Yeah, if you want the old man in there, we can do that, mate. We can do that. Up the town, a lot of Ipswich fans in there. Yeah, Mikey Johnston, mate. What a player he is. What a player he is. Another one. Pierce says, will you be doing the watch long when Ipswich lose to Huddersfield and Bamford scores a last minute penalty on Saturday? Yes, mate. I will 100% be doing one. Yeah, he is. Mike Johnston at West Brom, he is a quality one. I forgot about him, mate. Forgot about him 100%. But yeah, listen, I've got to say fair play. Ipswich, there is a slim chance, the slimmest of chance that Leeds do it. Huddersfield have done it for us before, haven't they? But yeah, I see a very, very comfortable win for Ipswich at the week, and I think Huddersfield are pretty much done. And do you know what, everybody? I just don't really rely on us beating Southampton. I just don't, and it maybe impacts a lot as well, because then Daniel Farke can't really rest any players for the playoffs, because he'll be thinking in his head that there's still a slim chance of automatic promotion. So, guys, that's going to be it from me. As Peter says, the final cup matches, Sky Sports have said it's Ipswich as well, says Jinder Jade. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the content. We'll be back tomorrow morning with some more playoff stuff. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.